Guys, HDV here and welcome to a brand new video. Today we're going to be going over all of the hints that lead towards Kalos DLC in Pokemon Scarlet and Pokemon Violet. Now I'm not for a second saying we are definitely getting Kalos DLC. These are just a lot of the hints in the base game of Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that are giving quite a lot of attention to Kalos and just the Generation 6 games as a whole. But either way, we're going to be going over all of it today. So if you're excited for the video, make sure to drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. Leave a comment. Would you love to go back to Kalos or some sort of variation of Kalos in the DLC for Pokemon Scarlet and Violet? Subscribe if you're brand new, ring the notification bell. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off, this whole thread was created by Soul Silverart, but there's a lot of other people that have been kind of making their own hints and assumptions and stuff about Kalos DLC in the thread, so there's a lot of people to shout out here, but either way, we'll go through that as we go through the thread. This was, as I said, originally made by Soul Silverart though, and the first kind of hint is this. So, many don't believe Pokemon Scarlet and Violet DLC could be South Kalos. I don't totally either, but there's a few big potential hints that it really could be. Left is a data mined pic of Paldea, same lines in Area 0 as this new area. It's bordered off too. Right pick is of Arven's room. So this is what I've been talking about in a few different videos about DLC. This top right kind of area here has the same diagonal lines as Area 0. Now Area 0 is very likely to get DLC. You know, there's the elevator that can go down even further that we can't get into. There's a third legendary about Area DLC. There's the other Paradox forms like Virizion and Suicune that are found in the base game talking about Area 0 like deeper down. There's also that Gorilla Pokemon as well that could potentially be further down in the Area 0. Either way, it seems that Area 0 is going to be getting a DLC pack. And the only other place on the map that has these kind of diagonal lines is this top right image here, which is of course where Kalos would be. Nowhere else on the map there are diagonal lines. So that's kind of the first theory, that whether this is Kalos or not, this bit of the island is going to be some sort of DLC thing. Again, it's not confirmed, but it's very likely, seeing as Area 0 is most likely going to get one. The next thing is this is a picture of Arven's room, and as you can see, this is the map of Paldea, and this area here is also kind of solidified, just like the rest of the Paldea map. So this is clearly some sort of like location that we will be able to go to, or was once some sort of physical location you could go to in Paldea, which again makes even more likely that it will be some sort of DLC. And again, this is where Kalos would be up here, but this could be just like very southern Kalos. When I say we're going back to Kalos, I don't mean we're going through the whole region, because I don't think they'd do the whole region for DLC. That would be crazy. But there could just be like a southern part of Kalos, a little bit like, you know, in like Gold and Silver when you go to the right and it says like you're in Kanto, but before you actually go to Kanto, maybe a little bit like that. You're just in Kanto, but not like properly in Kanto. It's just like a part of Kanto. I don't know if I explained that wrong, but either way, this is in Arven's room. If you want to go check it out yourself, this is a physical location just like the rest of Paldea. So this very much looks like it is going to be some sort of DLC pack. This is just a theory before the games came out, talking about different locations it could be, but we're going to talk about that later on. Next up, the maps clearly mark it as an already existing area in the Pokemon world. The border really gives it away. If it's not called Kalos, it may be an extended part of Paldea where Kalos should be IRL. Also, DLC might have an expanded Area 0 since both are marked off with the same lines, which again is what we've already spoke about. Next up, we have this really cool kind of I guess spot by Light, and this was also quote retweeted by Soul Silverart saying, another pretty big hint comes from Lucario1826 and Light88. Check out this thread. This is more than a coincidence to me. There are trainers are literally right next to the border of this new area, and they have all the Kalos dragons. So yeah, this was posted by Light saying, a huge hint found from my friend Lucario1826 about the connection between Paldea and Kalos. Here you will find 3 dragon tamers with Goodra, Noivern, and Dragalge just next to the inaccessible DLC Area 3 in Pokemon Gen 6. So this crater kind of, well not crater, but this area here that's got like the bordered lines, you will find trainers with a Goodra, a Dragalge, and also a Noivern as well. So all Gen 6 dragons. Again, it could just be a coincidence, but it's just interesting that those 3 Kalos dragons have been put right next to the border where Kalos could potentially be, or where it should be. I know these 3 dragon tamers, but I don't see the hint. those 3 Pokemon are exclusive of Kalos, Francis Next Spain connection. So that's that connection to Kalos. Next up, lastly, the 3rd legendary. So I'm not the only one who reads its description and looked at its drawing and said hexagonal plates. Sounds a lot like Zygarde. We also have Paradox Pokemon this gen. Could this new third legendary Pokemon be a Paradox based off of Zygarde? Findings on it. So we have this person here saying, disregarding the letter amount, with the hexagons and the Ouroboros-esque creature, it does tie in slightly to Zygarde's 50% form, it being based on the Jormungandr, which is Midgard/World Serpent, dwelling in the world, sea encircling the earth, having bit its own tail. The mentions of hexagonal plates makes me think Zygarde, even if that doesn't fit the 6 letters of what the professors are calling it, which of course is like the legendary that's in the book. Zygarde also has ties to ecosystems, so if Paldea suddenly was destroyed by Paradox Pokemon, forgot to add, it wouldn't be too weird considering Zygarde's forms include a dog, a cell thing, a serpent, and a humanoidish thingy, all Pokemon that are obviously in Paldea. And then interesting to see hexagons come back for the 3rd legendary Pokemon, since that's kind of the signature shape of Zygarde, 3rd of the trio from X and Y, with the crown as well. I wonder if this is some kind of Zygarde form. If it isn't, this Pokemon is related somehow. And again, more Kalos pandering, and again, I'm not saying Kalos is definitely confirmed, it's just interesting that this 3rd legendary Pokemon is all to do with like hexagonal shapes and stuff, and look, lo and behold, so is Zygarde. Zygarde is a Pokemon that we didn't really dive into too much in Generation 6. Obviously, we got a lot more information about it in Generation 7 with the different Zygarde forms, and the Zygarde cubes and whatever, but just interesting that this is the first time that we've had like hexagonal stuff, and it's the place that's right next to Kalos. We've already spoken about this as well. This is the 3rd legendary. You know, very big development on this. This next specific piece of info is late game 2, but not that spoilery. They know the 3rd legendary's name, and it's 100% the case of energy crystallization. This can be found in the game. We've determined that the energy crystallization is linked to the being we call ... which is what, 6 letters long. And Zygarde isn't 6 letters long, is it? Z-Y-G-A. No, it's not. So but again, that could just be like it could be like one of the rectangle shapes just taking out like 2 letters. And then they also go on to say this interlocking hexagonal plates that comprise shell must somehow cause this. So again, that was about the 3rd legendary that we've already spoken about. And then also we have Soul Silverrot saying, I will admit that the 3rd legendary connection is very loose and it probably doesn't have any connection, but who knows. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll be diving deeper in the coming months. So again, this is just a little bit more of like translation stuff and what have you, by Sept saying there is confirmed DLC for Paldea. There are Kalos initials in the code. There is a hole in the map of Paldea that could be the Pyrenees. Paldea and Kalos are stuck. Though there is a strange creature with hexagonal scales hidden in the pit people. There's also all the theories as well that like the secret weapon in Pokemon X and Y that obviously AZ had like a massive kind of like helping with, created Area Zero in Paldea when there was like that big Kalos war and obviously they border each other, so there could have potentially been a war between Paldea and Kalos. Not only that, AZ, which is obviously the main, like one of the main people in X and Y, AZ, Area Zero, same initials. Again, just more conspiracies and probably coincidences, but yeah, I could definitely see Area Zero being created, if not by a legendary, then by the secret weapon. So we might get more lore about that, or something like AZ might even return. And then finishing things off with this as well. Alternatively, my old theory of the DLC being based on Barcelona and Catalonia and Andorra are still very much in play. The literal IRL map extends into France, but this is the Pokemon world, so they could stretch the land there and not mention Kalos at all. So yeah, this could be like Valencia and Barcelona and stuff like that, which could be like this location here on the map. But this is definitely an Arven's room. This is clearly some sort of location we will be able to go to. And not only that, we also have 3 Kalos starters being transferable in Pokemon Home. Also, these 3 are back after years of exclusion. Through Pokemon Home, it's already been confirmed that we're going to have Greninja, Delphox, and Chestnut for the first time since Generation, well, whenever the last National Dex was, which was Generation 7. But either way, we have other people that are not too convinced. You know, it's not going to be Southern Kalos, but I agree it could be Southern France, also the land south of Kalos. No, South Kalos doesn't mean the land of south of Kalos, it means the southern part of the Kalos territory. I think the bigger thing is that Diancie and Carbink are in the coding for Home. Carbink, not a legendary starter or form/evolution, just Carbink. Clearly there's going to be some sort of plot involving Diancie and Carbink, like there was a Keldeo thing in Crown Tundra. Or, you know, Carbink just here because Diancie is. Feels like a weird mon to toss in and not just put into the decks, though. They could totally just put Diancie in if they wanted. I get that they're related, but still. So, yeah, they're just kind of talking about... Like, Carbink is a bit of a weird inclusion into the game. Like, why. It's not a starter, it's not a legendary, it's not a Pokemon form. Yes, it's related to Diancie in some way, shape, or form, but still a random Pokemon to put through home. So yeah, that could be getting ready for like Kalos stuff. But yeah, I think it is definitely interesting that the Kalos starters are going to be into the game when all this like Kalos stuff is kind of being brought up and everything. But either way, there's, like I say, I'm not sitting here and saying we're definitely going to get Kalos DLC. I am just reading out what's in front of me. You know, there is definitely some sort of like physical location that we can go to that is, for whatever reason, like, I guess scribbled out on the main map, but on Arven's poster it's right there. And also that this place, which has the same kind of diagonal lines as Area Zero, which is very likely to get DLC. That's a hint. Again, this might just be like a random area. It could be south of Kalos. We're not sure. The 3 Kalos dragons being right next to this like border thing here, again, is it a hint? The whole hexagonal thing with a 3rd legendary and Zygarde could be a hint. Again, the whole AZ secret weapon thing, creating Area Zero, that could also be a thing. The starters being back, like there's loads of hints pointing towards Kalos. I would love it if we could go back to some small form of Kalos. It would be sick, and it'd be a good way to tie it into Paldea. They literally border each other. But either way, that's just everything that people have found for like hints and stuff. There's probably going to be more that come out over the next few weeks or whatever. And I don't think Kalos would be the first DLC either. I think it would be Area Zero first to kind of finish off the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet story, and then Kalos could be the location that we go to, or a part of Kalos in the DLC after. If we get 2 DLC packs, we might just get one big one with Area Zero and Kalos, but I feel like it's going to be another Isle of Armor Crown Tundra situation. But anyway, that's going to be everything from me. Thank you so much for watching. If you did enjoy, drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 500 likes. It really helps out. Leave a comment with your thoughts on everything we covered in today's video. What are your thoughts on all of these hints? Do you think we are going to go back to Kalos, or do you think it's just a massive coincidence, all of these Kalos kind of Easter eggs and stuff? But let me know. Subscribe if you're brand new. Ring the notification bell. It's everything from me. Have a fantastic rest of your day. And until next time, peace.